stuff in the future is present in this very moment. I think that's why Together for Hope is called Together for Hope, because we believe that future is impinging on this moment, and we're claiming that for communities in the Delta. That's the kind of hope that we're peddling in this work. And again, if you would like to join us, we would love to get to know you and learn more about what you're doing as well. Because the more together we have, the more hope that we have. Blessings to all of you on your work. I'm praying for you in the work that you're doing and the presence that you have. And again, thanks for this opportunity to speak to you today.
Well, thanks so much, Reverend Clegg. Now we have Keith Fulcher, who is president of the Community Foundation for Northwest Mississippi. It's one of our major nonprofit organizations in the greater Mississippi Delta. So we're glad to have Keith Fulcher.
Yeah, thank you, Lee. Now I'm going to do a show of PowerPoint. So I just want to make sure, Abby, that I can do the screen share on PowerPoint, Abby.
Yes, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. And I just can't thank Kathy and Preston enough. I mean, what a segue into what our Community Foundation has been doing in Northwest Mississippi. And Preston, you used the word peddling. I am one half Lebanese. This is the cedar tree of Lebanon. And when the Lebanese immigrants came over to America, their occupation was listed as peddler. So you are correct, in my opinion. I fully agree that we're peddling hope. And to me, hope is realized by money. And that's what we're trying to do at the Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi, is to raise money. So let me know, Abby, you got a way to educate me on the screen share, Abby.
There is a button on the bottom of your screen. It's green. It will say screen share.
Got it. Okay. All right. Let me find, I should have practiced this a little bit more, but let me find that. Okay. So don't count this as part of my time, Lee.
Okay.
Make sure this is the right one. Okay. All right. Do we have a visual on everyone on the screen? Okay. All right. Let me start the slideshow from the beginning. All right, Lee, you can count start the clock, Lee. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. We're Keith Fulcher, Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi, located in Hernando, Mississippi. We're just south of Memphis. The term you've heard from both of our previous speakers was persistent poverty. And that's what we're concerned with on the Mississippi side of the Mississippi River and the Delta. So we were founded in 2002. We have total assets as a community foundation of $36 million. We accept gifts of cash, stock, IRA rollover, and we were the first community foundation in Mississippi, and maybe the first foundation in Mississippi to accept cryptocurrency. So we accept all forms of money. And who does that money support? Our mission primarily focuses on the health and well-being of children living in the counties that we serve. Our mission statement says, connecting people who care with causes that matter. Now, my screen is okay on it. Preston, give me a shout out. Is everything that's real clear? Okay, that's in Marks, Mississippi. 2 little girls just loving on each other, playing with each other. And I asked if I could take the photo, and we put it on the front cover of our annual report. Connecting people who care with causes that matter. We're governed by a 19-member board. Those 19 members come from the 11 county service area. And if that's clear enough to see, you'll recognize that that's the Delta counties on the east side of the Mississippi River from Arkansas. I was born in Vicksburg, Mississippi. My father's from Yazoo City, Mississippi. My mother's family's from Lebanon. I've lived just about my entire life in the Mississippi Delta, except for 3 years in Biloxi. I worked at Delta State University for 23 years in Cleveland, Mississippi, Bolivar County. So my whole career has been spent in the Delta, and I've been at the Community Foundation for 2 years. So what do? Our goal is to help nonprofits like Together for Hope grow an endowment so they can get away from having to fund themselves by hamburger cookouts and wrapping paper sales and Christmas tree sales. So the goal is endowments. Right now, we have 22 million in endowments for the nonprofits that we serve. Since 2002, we've granted out $33 million. $33 million granted out since 2002. So what are the causes that matter to us and to our donors? It's a whole collection, anything from animal shelters to battered women's shelters to the blues museums to the diaper bank of the Delta, to public universities, private universities, Sacred Heart Southern Mission, anything that will better the life of someone in the Mississippi Delta. Emmett Till Center. So there are 7 major areas that we focus on. So my talk today is on number 5, food security and health. And why was that important to us when the pandemic hit? When the pandemic hit and we shut down physically as an office, we asked, what's going to be our response? We learned that 25,000 school children would be without breakfast and lunch in the public school system. As you've seen this map before, no car, no supermarket store within a mile. That is our region of the deltas that we're talking about, whether it's looks like southern Missouri, southern Illinois, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi Delta. So we kicked off what we call the Feed Northwest Mississippi Fund. Feed Northwest Mississippi Fund. That was our response to COVID, food security. The Maddox Foundation put up $27,500 initially. We matched that. They doubled it to 55. We matched that. They doubled it to 110,000. Donors matched that. I'm pleased to report to you as of October 2021, we granted out 1.09 million. Preston, you're shaking your head back and forth. Tell me what you mean by that. Is that up and down, back and forth, or shot sideways? You can't believe it.
I was in awe. It's wonderful.
And part of that, Preston, has gone to Together for Hope. So Nicole can verify that in Shaw, Mississippi, Bolivar County. So 1.09, the Maddox Foundation has matched half of that. We are blessed to have the Maddox Foundation here. So who are some of our other funding partners that you might recognize besides the Maddox Foundation? Of course, Walton Family Foundation, LISC, TVA, Casey Family Programs from Seattle, Fiducia Trust. So the Catholic nuns in Shaw made a gift to us because their ministry was shut down. They weren't spending money, and they made a gift because they read that it would be matched. So I'm being Catholic, I was really impressed with that. So we made a lot of check presentations. I'll send you the number of checks that we have presented to nonprofits, but you can see at the bottom, the 4. We always put the 4 as needs of children. So here is Sacred Heart Southern Mission pulling up into a apartment complex, low-income apartment complex in Olive Branch, DeSoto County. And I just want you to hear how they announced we're here. All right, let's see if this will play. Did y'all hear that? You could hear him clear enough? Was there no sound to that? Preston,
it kind of cut out there.
Okay, maybe I cut it off too soon. Okay, all right. Well, just pulled up into a low-income apartment complex Thanksgiving of last year. He just made an announcement, just started hollering out, "Come get your Thanksgiving baskets," and people just flocked out of the apartments. No name, nothing asked of them. Just come get your food. That's what our feed fund was able to do. As Kathy was saying about the regulations that were lifted, this just made it phenomenal to distribute food. This is Heartland Hands in Horn Lake, Mississippi. They distribute to 40 fixed food pantries throughout the state of Mississippi, going from DeSoto County down to the Mississippi Delta, to Hattiesburg, and to the coast, all volunteer-based. This is George Zen with the Scissors in Marshall County, Mississippi. If you see the metal structure behind him, that is a walk-in freezer, a $24,000 walk-in freezer that the Feed Fund was able to buy thanks to the Maddox Foundation's match. The freezer changed the quality and quantity of food that was available to these fixed food pantries. Rather than just giving out the staples, they were now able to give out produce and frozen foods. This is Bill Clay in Greenwood, Mississippi, low income neighborhood. He has a mentoring program. We help fund those sacks of food that you see on the desk when a child did their homework for the day, the mentoring academic work. They would come in, sign in, and get a free bag of food. These are saints that I'm showing you who are doing the work. Right, this is a lady in DeSoto, Olive Branch. This is a low-income trailer park. She's a 2-time cancer survivor. And when she realized that the children were going without food, she petitioned to the school system to let her come pick up between 50 and 100 meals that she delivered at lunch every day to the children in the trailer park. And when I went there to video her, as she drove up, you could see the children watching for her and then coming out front, standing in front of the trailer park waiting for her. She also does an academic tutoring program that we purchased Wi-Fi for. Jillian, is this meaning anything? Am I doing okay, Jillian? Does this mean anything?
Yes, you're doing a great job.
Okay, all right, because I feel like I'm just talking real fast. All right, so I hope this plays. Now, this is Chalisa Presley with the Diaper Bank of the Delta in Cleveland, Bolivar County, Mississippi, delivering diapers, feminine hygiene products, and food to those in need. No questions asked. Let's see if it plays. All right, did that play, Jillian?
Yes, we can see the video, but we can't hear the sound with it.
Okay, so what she's saying is I need 2 1s, 2 5s, 1 6, and you could see this thunderstorm, right? It was tornado weather. It was so bad, I left. As I was driving off, the tent's blowing away. Guess what they're doing? They're still going up to cars, taking names and delivering. I'm thinking these people are just over the top, in love with what they're doing, serving their fellow mankind. I mean, it's just phenomenal what the pandemic opportunity has brought out in service to our fellow individuals. Like, this is Tunica County, Mississippi. In June, Jesse Jackson announced his presidential campaign in '88 using Sugar Ditch, Tunica County as the backdrop. These are 2 not so young men trucking food into the food pantry. So our goal as a nonprofit, as a feed fund, was to help these nonprofits become state of the art, whatever state of the art means to them. To some food pantries, that meant a dock and a ramp or a trailer. To some, it meant a walk-in freezer. So if you see the awning in the background, I'll send you an updated photo. There is a walk-in freezer sitting on that pad right behind that little white car. There's a walk-in freezer. Has transformed what this nonprofit in Tunica can give out in food, thanks to the feed fund. So you can see these guys these are all volunteers. These are not paid employees. We thank the Walton Family Foundation for doing a blog. Mr. Kim Davis did a blog, Feeding the Mississippi Delta in a Time of Crisis. And this young man on the right was a firefighter, and now he runs a youth program in Clarksdale, Coahoma County, Mississippi. He and several firefighters delivered food door to door to the children who were stuck on the gravel roads, dirt roads, the blacktop roads, not having transportation to get food. And twice they did direct food deliveries to throughout Coahoma County. Now, the Mississippi Crisis Foundation, Bill Blackwelder, he's in the sheriff's uniform on the bottom left. He had access to during phase 3, he had access to every USDA Farmers to Family food box in Mississippi. We were the first donor to the Mississippi Crisis Foundation, which was a new nonprofit that started up just due to the pandemic. He distributed 1 million boxes of Farmers to Family food boxes. And so our feed fund helped pay transportation, logistics, gas, anything needed. And this is in Sledge, Mississippi, which is home of Charlie Pride. Now, the lady on the right is not, these people are not picking up food for themselves. These are volunteers. Notice the skin color of just about everybody I'm showing you. And I didn't select these. I would like to lift up the African-American leadership in the Delta. Right, this is First Baptist Church in Senatobia. They did 4 USDA food distributions of 1,400 trailer load of about 1,400 boxes per load, close to 6,000 boxes, 5,000, 6,000 boxes. About 20 nonprofits would meet at this parking lot in Senatobia, pick up 100 boxes, 200 boxes, 10 boxes, and distribute it out to the rural areas of Tate County. So this gave the church and their members a mission and built a coalition among people that never knew each other. Youth were involved. Look at these little girls on the that you see on children. This is in Coldwater, Mississippi. I mean, just training the next generation of volunteers. Grenada, Mississippi, the traditional soup kitchens, as you know, closed down, and the mobile food pantries became the way of distributing food. So thanks to the Feed Fund, we helped the Grenada Food Pantry and a number of others pivot to the mobile food pantries. So volunteers became critical for these mobile food pantries because it was labor intensive. So you can see the cars lined up out front of the Emmett Till Center in Sumner, Mississippi. So the sheriff's departments, thanks to the Mississippi Crisis Foundation, the sheriff department, the elected officials, churches, nonprofits just jumped in to distribute through the mobile food pantries. I bet I can't count the number of mobile food pantries that we help support. So this is the day-to-day need, get people food, get them the protein, as Kathy mentioned. So what's the long-term outcome of our Feed Fund? Oh, let me jumped ahead just one. So this is an example of the forklift that we helped purchase, delivered water when water was scarce. This is a circle is an electric pallet jack. This is in Parchman, Mississippi, Sunflower County, where COVID devastated the male population of volunteers, and they had to rely on an all-female volunteer base. Thanks to the state-of-the-art purchases that we made for them, they're now able to unload a truck in 45 minutes as opposed to half a day. And they have had all-female crews unloading the trucks, and electric pallet jacks were a big help of that, and forklifts. So the long-term, the lasting outcomes, thanks to an organization, a consortium that we're a member of called Delta Directions. Julian Morrison, thank you, Julian. Put your contact information in the chat. We had 3 hunger summits, and we had hundreds of participants take part in the hunger summit. Harvard Law School graduates spoke, the USDA spoke, the University of Mississippi spoke, Mississippi State University Shackles Honors College, the Harvard Chan School of Public Health, all participated and led our hunger summits. Now, our hunger summits at the community foundations goes back to 2017. We're not a newcomer to this effort, but the pandemic gave us an opportunity to renew our efforts. So then we followed that up with two food is medicine summits. And you can see the partners here listed. And again, the Maddox Foundation funded and paid for just about everything that I'm talking about. All right, so how is that still real today about that persistent poverty? And of course, diabetes is the #1 cause of health problems. This was just 2 days ago in the New York Times showing the per capita death rate of maternity of births. And you can lay that bright yellow, the highest maternity death rates, lay that on top of the no car, no supermarket within a mile, and you can see how nutrition could possibly play a major role in the health problems in our region. So that's why we're committed to this cause of food security. And so Delta Directions, if you want to be involved, like I want to be involved in Kathy's organization, Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance, we're already involved in Together for Hope. Any way we can partner together with you or any of these, this is Delta Directions, our partners on Delta Directions. Very impressive list. And it's run by Jillian Morrison. We'll wave again, Jillian. There you go. Good. The Community Foundation could not do our work without the intellectual capital that the Delta Directions provides. And look at the health and economic renewal in the Mississippi Delta is the mission of Delta Directions. So we're real pleased that Scott Coopwood and the Delta Business Journal recognized that the Community Foundation continues to help the region. And this sure speaks to our mission of connecting people who care with causes that matter. And no one matters more than children. So Lee, I really appreciate getting to know you and Joel. as our newest partner, and Dorothy, Grady, Scarborough. I appreciate you inviting me to Shelby to meet them. So that concludes my presentation.
Well, thanks very much, Keith. It is interesting that the Delta is such a huge region, 8 states, 10 million people. I've been working in one way or another for 35 years or more in the Delta, and yet I still come across new and great organizations like Keith Fulcher. So we're glad to link up with you, and thanks so much. I'd like to recognize Dorothy Grady Scarborough, who has expertise in a wide range of fields. She's a registered nurse and has worked in healthcare field in the Delta for many years. She's worked with many African-American farmers, and we all know how they've been discriminated against by USDA and others in our history. And she is executive director of Mississippians Engaged in Agriculture Mega. So we're glad to have Dorothy Grady engaged in agriculture